Wanted to check in with him. And Paul, you know, I think you can look at that video, and clearly different people are going to look at that same video and come away with different takes on it.
They sure are, no doubt, Amy and Simone. This was a witnessed incident, and there are several different videos from slightly different angles, so clearly people were out there videotaping what was occurring. I know you just played the video without audio. I have in the newsroom listened to it, viewed it, and I think as the mayor and the police chief filled in some of the holes during their news conference, it appears to be a woman, again, an observer, if you will, or certainly someone who was perhaps they had their car perpendicular in the roadway. It appeared that officers went up, like ordered her to move, then ordered her to open the door, and that is when she took off. There is an agent, the ICE agent, who eventually pulls the trigger several times in the roadway. And this is where, depending on how you look at it, depending what agency is looking at it, you certainly heard the mayor called DHS's version of events BS. There is an agent in the roadway. There's an open window. Car sort of gets moving, peels out. I want to be careful with my verbiage. Makes a right turn. The agent open fires into the window. That car rolls down the road just a little bit further, and that is where it crashes into another vehicle, and they eventually get medical care. And as we now know, the 37-year-old woman perished. She died from the gunshot injuries from that incident. So there is video. The investigation will obviously play out. And Ryan in our booth wants to tell me now that we can play it with some audio. Why don't we roll that for you now?
No! No! Shame! Shame! Oh my...
Go ahead, Paul. And there it goes. We're just going to play the very initial, seconds or so there. But there's this apparent effort. Perhaps ICE was moving down the road. You could see that one, I believe it's a pickup truck. Yeah, the pickup truck, that's ICE trying to get down the road. The woman again begins with a car in a perpendicular position. I don't know how exactly that would have happened, but she did appear to perhaps be blocking ICE's progress towards a target, towards a destination. I don't know. The agents got out. They were angry. They ordered her to leave. They reached for her door a couple of times, and that is when she kind of peels out to the right, and then there is an agent right there who opens fire into the window, and she is subsequently killed. So this video will be closely scrutinized by people on all sides, investigators. The Hennepin County Attorney's Office has chimed in with commentary about wanting a local investigation. We heard during the news conference that the FBI with the BCA will take a look at the investigation, the use of force. Authorities at that news conference didn't appear to know exactly what could transpire on a potential charging decision when you have a federal agent working an operation in the city of Minneapolis. But no doubt, Amy, Simone, this was very much a witnessed event, a documented event. And now, whether you call it finger pointing, clearly there's anger. There was an emphasis from the city to get ICE agents out of there. They were the targets of the protests that quickly developed around there. Karen Scullin was out in it. Chemical irritants needed to be used to at least push back some of the gathering crowd. And it didn't make the news last night, but we had in our newsroom took a look at an incident yesterday where we now understand there was a car crash where ICE perhaps was pursuing somebody out in Eden Prairie, and there was a car crash from a fleeing we believe a target of the ICE investigation. There was a mash-up at an intersection there, and I saw some of the aftermath video from witnesses who quickly turned their disdain and anger and angst towards the ICE agents. People very much concerned over these last several weeks since the surge began about the way ICE conducted its business. The chief warned that this day could happen, and clearly now the city of Minneapolis is responding and reeling from what took place there in the Powderhorn neighborhood earlier this morning.
Yeah, that's what's so ironic is, Police Chief Brian O'Hara just hosting his, year in review meeting yesterday for 2025. And he literally, in that same press conference, just said his fear is that something of this nature, of this capacity, could happen. As we know, they have said this is the largest immigration enforcement operation that we have seen. 2,000 agents deployed here to the Twin Cities, and now this happens here today.
And when you don't have a system of communication, right? It's a federal operation, and there are agents coming in from other states. We know just from talking with some police chiefs that in Minneapolis and St. Paul that there are local federal agents that they know and they work with often, but then others are coming in. Some other ICE agents are coming in from other places. They don't know them, and there is not an infrastructure of communication intentionally by many, including cities like Minneapolis. So it kind of felt like a recipe for disaster is what the police chief and mayor have been saying, Paul.
And the city officials have sort of made the point that this isn't necessarily in their minds about safety. There's no collaboration. Do we need to chase people down the street? These are perhaps people who have entered this country illegally. Are there other ways to go about an operation to take the dangerous ones off the streets? Seeing them at courthouses, at immigration check-ins, at visiting them at their homes, and this is what city officials worried about. But we don't know exactly what was taking place this morning. But there was some operation where ICE, people are being, you follow them on social media, people are literally shadowing ICE as they leave their headquarters at the Whipple building right by the airport, Bloomington, at South Minneapolis, a little corridor near the airport. People are following them. People are watching them. People are watching their every move. Wouldn't shock you to see somebody perhaps try to block a roadway if they felt someone was trying to get away from an ICE traffic stop, if that is in fact what occurred this morning. It's creating dangerous situations is the argument from City Hall. I don't think this is a proper way to go about an immigration enforcement. And today it is the nightmare ending that the police chief has spoken about, that the mayor worried about, and now this. And then we'll have to see how the community responds. I think getting ICE out of there from what they're calling a crime scene now, right? It's a crime scene now. There's an active investigation into law enforcement's use of force. It's a new territory, certainly for the folks involved. The mayor, who's the attorney himself, didn't quite know exactly sort of the legal processes here that take place. The FBI and the BCA now probing the shooting itself. I think it's important to reiterate there are videos. There seems to be videos from several different angles. And the shooting itself, and then, Fox 9 has chosen to show it, sparingly and perhaps without the audio because there is obviously a woman killed in the frames and vulgar language left and right, and it's just a difficult day now for that Powderhorn neighborhood that we were just flying over in that video we showed you a second ago.
Yeah, and in that video we saw several people of the community, and as you mentioned, we don't know how the community is going to respond to this. And we know the mayor's hope, the chief's hope is that people remain calm and remain safe as well. Paul, thank you for talking us through some of that video there. Please stay with us. I'm sure we'll check in. We have so many videos to go through in our newsroom, so glad to have you with us. Hopefully you'll join us in just a couple of moments.